Hello everybody and welcome back. Today's block is called Triangles and Stripes. I already made the one I'm going to use in my quilt, but I struggled with this middle piece. Now I made it work, but the video wasn't gonna be helpful. So, well, it would have been confusing because I was confused. So we are going to make it again with these three fabrics. Now, my A is missing because it's with another project, and I didn't want to dig it out and mess with it. So we're just going to pretend there's an A on there. So I'm using, it's called Bountiful Blooms, also from Sherry and Chelsea. I think that's what Simply Delightful is from, or who, not what. So we're going to build this from the middle out. So unlike my other videos where I just give you all the list of fabric requirements, we are going to go step by step on this one. So we're going to start with 2A, 1B, and 1C, and these are all 3-inch squares. And we're going to turn these into half square triangles, so we're going to match up an A with each of the others. We are going to get our ruler here. I have the, oh, no, there's the small one. And we're going to line that up and draw a line corner to corner. I got this new pen on Amazon. It's made for fabric to be able to take it off with heat. So we're just going to pin on both sides of that. And I'm going to lay it to the side. We're going to go ahead and do the other one. And same thing, just draw a line. Oop, I move there. It's okay though. We're not actually sewing on the line anyway. We're going to sew a little bit in from it. We're going to pin that. Now let's go sew that up. Just, I'm going on the inside of the line I drew there. So it's not so tight when I go to trim it. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm speaking in 2-word segments. I'll try to get that under control. I'll just cut it off and move it around so we don't have to use stoppers or enders, and I can just go straight through, not wasting thread. Right. Take our pins out. We're going to iron this. And the pin does disappear. Now when I use these pins, I never draw on the outside of the quilt because I don't actually know how they'll react. And it could be different each time anyway. So I only put it on parts that are not going to be seen. So we're going to iron to the red on those and to the yellow on the other ones. And that's so when they are put together, they nest. Now I just use the scissors to cut them down the middle because my pressing mat was here. Normally I would use the rotary cutter, but it was there. It was convenient. I just did it. Now we're going to trim these, and I'll trim one with you, and then I'll pause the video and trim the others. You won't even know I'm gone. It'll be like magic. So we're going to line it up here. And we're going to line up our diagonal there. And then we're going to go as close to the edge here as possible, and we're going to trim these to 2.5 inches. So I want to make sure there is still hanging over fabric at the over the 2.5 inch mark. And then we'll spin it around, and now we're going to line up the diagonal again, and now we line up our 2.5 inch lines on the side and the bottom, and we trim that off. And that gives us our perfect 2.5 inch half square triangle. I'm going to go ahead and trim the other two, and I will be right back. See, it was like magic. All right, now we're going to lay them out. And I want my yellow fabric to be on the outside of all of them. So we're just going to alternate the others. Like that, because this is how the block is going to be oriented, but we can lay it like this for now. So we're going to just fold this over, and if we've ironed them both to the sides that I said, so the red one went to the red and the other one went to the yellow, then it should line right up and be a perfect seam. If I could get my fingers to work. It's cold down here in my basement. And then same with the other one. Line it up. Now we're going to sew those up. Now we're just going to iron them both to the red. And then we're just make them opposite again. Oh, that feels great. My mat is hot. My hands are freezing. And now we'll line up all three seams. The middle one there. And then our two side ones. And I definitely recommend pinning when its seams are being matched up. Moving right along. This one does not matter which side you iron it to. They are the same. Okay, next you're going to need B. And this is 2. I cut it in half already because, like I said, I was working with it. And I believe they were 4-inch squares. Yep. So 2 4-inch squares. Cut in half diagonally, so you'll have 4 triangles. And for that, you're going to turn this into the economy block. Now, we don't really have to fold this in half because our point will line up right there with our seam. So then we'll just pin it. And I'm going to put one in the beginning because, well, because. I'll spin it around and then I'm going to fold this up, but that's only so I can line up my point on that one too. it's the easiest way. I could fold it in half, this one in half, but I don't really need to because it kind of does it for me. I'm actually going to change the way I'm doing that there. I'm going to sew it from the back. This block was supposed to be cut at 3 7/8. I rounded up because I'm not going to pin it from the back. I'm just going to do it from the front. Because I'd rather waste an 1/8 of an inch of fabric and know I have enough than to mess around with it and try to measure out. I do the 7/8 measurements when I need to, but I didn't feel like I needed to on this one. So we are going to sew up these two sides. That is why it goes off the edge so much. Whoops. We will iron these open. So I could have gotten a lot closer on that one. And I got a little too close on that one. But it's okay, because this is for me. And I'm not perfect. And we'll be trimming this block, so I'm not really worried about the tails there, or whatever you want to call them. And last one. Also, this is kind of a directional fabric, so you could worry about it. I mean, if it's something you want to worry about. It is not for me, so I didn't. But you would have to be aware of that with this block. Two more seams and we'll move it right along. Those pins out and the next side. Now we're going to trim this down to 6.5 inches. And this is the part usually where I want to cry because I've done something wrong. Sorry. Forgot to hit that button. So we're going to we want it to be 6.5. So we're going to take our 3 1/4 and put right there on that middle dot. And then we're going to turn it until our lines line up there. And we're going to trim off There shouldn't be much to trim off. Just your dog ears, really. Now we're going to spin it around and do the same thing, but we're also going to be able to line up our 6.5 inch lines and the point. So that one's a little off, but it's okay. It's okay. Now we're going to lay this to the side and we're going to build our corners. Now I already did most of this. Our corners are going to be A and B, and you need 2 of each square that is 4 1/4 inches. No, it's 4 inches. It's 4 inches. So A and B, and they're both 4 inches. And we're just gonna, I already did 2. It's half square triangle. Same thing we did on the first step. I lined them up. I drew the line. I sewed them together. And then we're just going to take our ruler and cut down the middle. I believe I said this was a 4 inch square and this was a 4.5 or 4 1/4 inch square. Again, the direction, the measurements will be correct in the description. I'm sorry, I worked all day. So we're going to trim these down to 3.5. I already did 2 of them. Double check my measurement there. Yep, 3.5. So we're going to do that same way we did the other ones. We're going to line up our diagonal and trim off 2 sides. Spin it around. Line up the diagonal, and this time you're going to line up the 3.5 inch lines and point. And one more. And again, your 3.5 inch point lines and diagonal line. Right, put these to the side. So you'll have 4 of those. You'll have your middle piece, and then you'll have 4 of those, and then we're going to do our final one is A and C, and you need 4 of each, 2 inches by 6.5 inches. And I've already sewn some together. You're just going to make strip sets. So I'm just going to sew that together real quick. And then we're going to build our block now that we have all of our pieces made. We will iron these open first though. I'm going to iron to the gray just because it's slightly darker. And then we'll lay out our pieces. So, we're going to start with our middle piece. I'm going to move these now. I do believe I left them on there or up on the screen long enough. I think we've got what they are. But if not, you can always go back. Let me clear my space here. So we are going to lay it out then. These are our side pieces, and my yellow is the outside. This actually goes like this. Not that it matters, because no matter how you turn it, it's the same. So the gray is going to touch that. The blue, or the yellow, sorry, it's blue on the other one, is outside. And then our yellow pieces are going to be on the outside of that also. So there you have it. And now we just have to sew it into rows and then put our rows together. So I'm just going to grab it from the sewing machine, and I'm going to fold this over and sew it, and then I'll grab that one and we'll work our way through it. Grab them from there. I might pop a pin in this one in the end because it's a little bit longer. I'm going to leave the beginning and the middle fine, just without pins. So I'm sewing this one from the back because I want to try to go across that, which I don't think is going to happen because I was a little extra on that, and I don't know what caused that, but it'll be alright. Then we're going to do our bottom row. I'm just going to cut the first one off and grab the second corner to it and attach it, making sure to lay it correctly. Same with the next one. That one I'm also going to pop a pin in the end of it. I know you can't really see it, but I'm doing it. And then the bottom one. So I'm going to iron the middle one to the outside and the top and bottom one to the inside. And then we just lay it back out, making sure there's yellow all the way around the outside. So fold this over and pin it. The seam. And the end. And then again at this seam. And the beginning. And then I'm going to put one in the middle. I'm going to spin it around and do the same thing. And then this video is getting kind of long, so I'm just going to sew it up real quick and I'll be right back. And it is sewn. My points didn't all match up, but it's okay. I don't think anybody's matches up all the time. So there it is. I don't like that one as much as I like this one over here. I love this one, but you know, whatever. So there it is. Again, it is called Triangles and Stripes. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you make it and love it, and I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.